நம்முடைய ஜனநாயக
Viewers, at 7 in the morning, when we brought you the wall-to-wall coverage of the first phase, it didn't look as if the good people of Tamil Nadu were going to respond to repeated requests by Prime Minister Modi and his General K. Annamalai to come out and vote. But given the encouraging turnout figures that are of course still updating, it appears that some new voters have perhaps responded. Are they the voters that want change and are enthused by the BJP's message that provides an ideological alternative to the Dravidian cultural and philosophical outlook of the DMK and even the LDMK? Or are they DMK cadre mobilized by the well-oiled machinery of the DMK, of that party, to thwart the BJP? Let me tell you, when new voters have entered the electoral fray, the BJP has gained. At least that's what we have realized from 2014 and the 2019 Lok Sabha experience. Let me elaborate, viewers, with hard facts as always. The BJP's vote share, in fact, gained by almost the same proportion as the proportion of new voters that cast their ballot. The total number of voters in 2019 roughly stood at about 89 crores, up 6 crores from 2014. In this period, the quantum of total votes that the BJP gained was also 6 crores, up from a little over 17 crores. Incidentally, in 2019, the Congress vote share increased. And it's also worth noting or pointing out that the non-Congress parties did better against the BJP in the 2019 election. So it stands to reason the BJP didn't entirely gain its increased vote share from the Congress or non-Congress parties. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, viewers. There's still about an hour and a half to go by which you will get the updated final figures. Somewhere around 7:30, perhaps 8 o'clock is when we will get the updated figures. But let me tell you a little bit about what the Chief Electoral Officer is saying. He says that on the percentage of voting in Tamil Nadu in the first phase of elections, our voting percentage by 5% is 63.20 for the state, the highest in 57 in Chennai South. So Chennai South is looking like the laggard right now. Others in Tamil Nadu, the other centers, look as if they are about to close that gap. But first, let's look at the overall average of votes polled in Tamil Nadu compared to 2019. Let's put that figure out on the screens, viewers. There it is, 62.08% at 5 p.m. 72 is what it stood at in 2019, so 10% adrift, but that was till 5 p.m. As you know, voting will go on for another hour, plus there will be people that will be queued up in the lines even as we speak right now, and therefore voting will not shut till those votes have been cast or those voters have actually pressed the button. So viewers, there is some time to go, but let me deep dive the turnout in the seats where the BJP fancies its prospects in Tamil Nadu. There's Kanyakumari, 57.52 till about 5 p.m., which is about 11.5% adrift from where it was in 2019. Coimbatore looks like it has experienced heavy polling, 58.36% and 63.9% in 2019. So that's only a gap of about 4.5% or so. In Ramanathapuram, 63.35 till 5 p.m. and 68, that was the number in 2019, and that perhaps will either be equal or eclipsed. In Tuticorin, 59.96, almost 60%, and that's about 9% adrift from where it was in 2019. Sivaganga, 56.9 or at least 57%, and that's about 12% adrift from its 2019 figure. Tirunelveli, again viewers, 58.67. Tirupur, 64.73. Tenkasi, 61.71, so a 10% gap there, a little less than 10%. South Chennai, of course, the big laggard. Here, as we know, the BJP has fielded Miss Soundarajan, who was the governor till recently and was brought in. So that's a big gap there of 10% or so. Let's quickly check in with our reporters to get a sense of how the various protagonists are viewing their prospects on the ground in Tamil Nadu. Let's go straight across to Harish Upadhyay, who's been there in Coimbatore for some time now, and of course was there all through the morning looking at the election and how it was sort of unfolding. There's Purnima Murli with us also. She's live from Chennai. We'll come to them both right now. Upadhyay, Harish, tell me, there is some talk right now that Coimbatore has seen heavy polling, but there is also some consternation on the part of Mr. Annamalai. He says that some of his voters have not been allowed to come in. The buses were sort of interstate or intercity buses were stopped, and also that a large number of voter list irregularities have surfaced, and he wants a repoll in certain pockets of Coimbatore. Can you elaborate what's happening there?
Well, there are 2-3 issues in Coimbatore, especially that the BJP has pointed out. One, they are saying that there are voters who voted in the local body election and also in the assembly election. Their names have disappeared. And in fact, we were on the outskirts of Coimbatore around afternoon, and we did see a few cases where people said that they had voted for a number of years, they hadn't changed their house, but still their names were missing. In fact, one individual came out and said that his name was on the electoral list, he had an epic card, but somebody else had voted on that name and it was a bogus vote. Left many wondering on how that was possible despite his picture being there. He was seeking the election officer there to look at the CCTV camera that's present and act on that. So we've seen several such incidents, and in fact Annamalai saying that this is a discrepancy and it is more in numbers in certain polling booths, and he's saying that there should be a repoll in such booths. That has been their argument. Well, we've seen other political agents as well at multiple booths saying that names getting deleted has been a problem, and this despite many of them voting the last few elections and not changing their residences. So we'll have to see how the election commission responds. But despite all this, as you rightly pointed out, the polling percentage perhaps will beat the last 2019 figures, at least in Coimbatore. This is something that Annamalai has been talking about, that there will be an increase in polling percentage, and the biggest beneficiary of that perhaps will be the BJP. At the same time, let's understand the Coimbatore constituency has a large urban population, a bit of a rural population as well. So will that polling percentage be high in the urban pockets or the rural pockets? That's another dynamic that we'll have to see.
And of course, we'll also have to see whether the DMK actually undercuts the BJP there. Remember, viewers, that in the last couple of elections, the BJP has fallen minimally short of where the eventual winner has been. So just a few percentage points have meant that it did not win that seat. I want to go across to Purnima now. Purnima, you're of course in Chennai. There it's interesting. There's Central Chennai and of course South Chennai. South Chennai not seeing the kind of mobilization and the enthusiasm to vote, etc. Are we reading this wrong, or do you think the numbers will go up once they are finally announced at around 8 o'clock and perhaps corrected and updated by the morning? Number one. Number two, how's it looking? Central and South. How's it looking?
Well, usually the two constituencies in Chennai, Chennai Central and Chennai South, always see a low voter turnout. Last time as well, it was below 60 in South and Central Chennai. This time, as of 5 p.m., it was around 57%. The last 1 hour is still crucial. What we are hearing is that by 7:15 or 7:30, the 6 p.m. data will be out. So clearly, Chennai has always seen a low voter turnout, just like how Coimbatore also till about 2021, where Coimbatore, South Chennai, Central Chennai, all these have seen low voter turnout. This time around, we'll have to wait for the official data. But if you look at South Chennai and Central Chennai, they've always been a DMK bastion. But this time, because the BJP has decided to field Tamilisai Soundarajan, who has been aggressively campaigning for South Chennai, it is indeed a tri-cornered contest, and Tamilisai Soundarajan confident confident that this time BJP will make inroads, and she is confident that she will win, even as the DMK maintains that the party will sweep elections. So South Chennai is again a tough battle this time, because Tamilisai Soundararajan is also equally giving a tough fight this time around at the DMK fort. And talking about Central Chennai, it's always been a DMK bastion. Dayanidhi Maran from the DMK is confident that he will win with a huge majority. But this time around, South Chennai seems to be yet another interesting constituency where it is indeed a tri-cornered contest. All eyes on the 4th of June, but at the moment, Tamilisai Soundararajan not ruling out the fact that BJP will certainly make inroads.
Well, viewers, in both Coimbatore and Chennai South, the Prime Minister personally campaigned. There were road shows. So these are really high-profile seats. And we'll come back to our reporters in just a little while, viewers. Stay tuned on this broadcast, because we'll be updating those numbers. Those numbers really, some people say, hold the key. At least BJP says they hold the key. Let's open this up. Let's open this up, because Tamil Nadu has seen a furious campaign. It has seen now enthusiastic voting in different pockets. And Dr. Raman, you've been a cephalogist. You are a very, very astute observer of trends. Are you prepared now to at least concede that there has been interest that the BJP has been able to generate? And you can see, especially in Coimbatore, where the polling turnout looks quite impressive, even as we still have a couple of hours of polling to catch up with. And other pockets also, especially those seats that the BJP thinks it has a chance in. Impressive numbers. Are you going to recalibrate? Because you know that when new voters come in, usually, we can't read too much into this, usually the BJP does benefit. This looks like a real three-cornered contest here.
Rahul, first of all, the voter turnout is not too different from last time, including in Coimbatore. As of 5 p.m., it was 61%. It is likely to end up closer to 70%, which is more or less what it was last time. So there is no major difference. There is no major surge in the voting percentage. If anything, across the state, the percentage may actually end up with maybe a point or percentage point or two below what we got in 2019. So there is that part. Let's get it out of the way. The second is, I have been maintaining, not now, for the past year, I have been saying that the BJP will increase its vote share in 2024, and it has emerged as the third largest party in the state, and it will get a double-digit vote share. Now the question is about the winning of seats, and this is where I have a difference of opinion. I don't think that they're going to win too many seats this time, but they will get about a 15 to 17, 18% vote share, because they also have the PMK, which has a 4 or 5% vote. So the BJP plus the PMK will end up around 15% to 18% vote share. That's not going to be necessarily enough to win them too many seats. Very difficult to make a prediction whether they will win one seat or not. But beyond that, it's extremely unlikely that they're going to really win a significant number of seats. They are playing a longer game. So from their perspective, that's fine, because the vote share going from 3 to 13 or 15 is pretty impressive in itself.
Very interesting, viewers, that now Dr. Raman says that yes, there is going to be a double-digit vote share.
Not now.
Viewers,
not now.
No, I remember that we had some.
For 1 year.
No, not
I've been saying it for 1 year.
Dr. Raman,
Excuse
look, when we put out. Okay,
sir,
one second.
No. Rahul,
Okay.
Rahul, there are people from Tamil Nadu who have been seeing me say this for the last 1 year.
Okay.
I also said, had they not broken off the alliance with the ADMK, they would have won a very sizable number of seats this time. And I said that was a mistake. All of this is on record. Everybody in Tamil Nadu knows.
Well, I just remember a few things differerently, but nonetheless, I'm not going to let that become the center focus of our debate. But let me just get a sense from others also. Smita Prakash is there with us. Smita Prakash, look, we can cut it any which way. Had the turnout not been suggestive of enthusiasm, people have said the BJP is completely fizzled. The Prime Minister's visits there, 10 visits just this year, haven't brought the people out. That means the BJP is a complete write-off. It's probably not even going to make it to double digits. But let me just take you back to Bengal. 17-18% was where the BJP was with 2 seats in 2014. that was really the turning point then. There are parallels here because 2% here and there is where the BJP is right now when it was in 2009 in Bengal. And then you see it went up to 40% in almost, very quick time, 10 years. So are we seeing parallels here? Are we seeing parallels that we are now discounting because perhaps we have our own blinkered vision and we don't want to expand our horizon?
Look, yes, you can draw parallels between the West Bengal situation and Tamil Nadu to a certain extent. The only issue is that in West Bengal, there was an ideology, it was not ideology driven, whereas in Tamil Nadu, it's an ideology driven battle. In West Bengal, it was, if you want to see communism as an ideology which the Trinamool tried to take away, then yes, at that stage. But when it comes to Trinamool versus BJP, it's not really an ideological battle all that much. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, it is totally ideology driven. On the one side, you have the Dravidian ideology represented by both the DMK as well as the AIADMK. The birthing of AIADMK is also with the Dravidian ideology. The BJP is trying to bring about a completely different philosophy, ideology, national politics, which they want to bring in into Tamil Nadu, willy-nilly forcing Tamil Nadu out of a cocoon that it has been for 4 decades in that Dravidian space, to bring it out of that and make it part of the national mainstream. I'm only talking about it politically right now. I'm not talking about Tamil Nadu not being part of the mainstream as far as other issues are concerned, just merely political. So here it's a complete different laboratory that one can see happening in Tamil Nadu, and I tend to agree. The fact that BJP is here for the long run, 2024, not really.
Okay.
It's like a hurdle race. So the first hurdle will be 2024, and 2026 is where they have their eyes on. A lot of political capital that the Prime Minister has invested, and it's certainly not just for 2024.
Well, if it is going to be a wave election and 400 par is really the objective, then Tamil Nadu does matter, because the hawa that is generated from that will, of course, enthuse cadres of the BJP in the south. It does set the tone, but there will be many people who will say that even the fight against the TMC was ideological, to the extent that the idea of India was the one that was being sort of questioned. Anti-UCC, for example, is seen to be by the BJP an anti-secular approach to the idea of India, which the BJP believes should be actually protected, that we should resurrect what we lost to appeasement politics. Also, of course, again, there is a common thread where Hindus, the BJP in West Bengal, are given short shrift, and therefore there is a problem there. So I think there are parallels. Here again, the Dravidian idea is sort of anti-Sanatan, and there is this sort of attempt at revivaling what the Congress had let go of under Kamraj years. So there are parallels, Smita Prakash. The only problem, of course, is whether there is enough, how should one put it, disgruntlement against the DMK for people to move, and what happens to the AIDMK at the end of the day. Shekhar Iyer, what do you believe? There are parallels between Bengal and Tamil Nadu that we are ignoring at our own peril?
Well, you see, Mamata does not represent any particular ideology. I mean, she has crafted it. First, she made it out it was an anti-left ideology, but gradually the methods and practices of the left were actually adapted by Trinamool Congress, and things were made little more, I would say, more horrible. I mean, to put it in very plain words, whether it is scientific rigging, whether it is intimidation of voters, or it is cultivation of a particular section of voters. And today, Mamata has acknowledged by releasing her manifesto on Ram Navami and taking out Ram Navami processions that you cannot ignore Ram. You know, on January 22nd, when Prana Pratishtha was done in Ayodhya, Mamata and other Trinamool Congress leaders were saying that there is no Ram business in Bengal, there is nothing here. Nobody worships Prabhu Sri Ram in Bengal. This is the land of the Shakti. All kind of thing. But what do you see in the last 2-3 months? Because the decision to have the manifesto released on a Ramanavami was sent a message, because she has realized that even though the by and large Hindu voters in Bengal have not felt so, but the manner in which she has been cultivating a particular section of voters has resulted in a situation where the BJP's campaign has worked. And above all, this time Mamata is facing another problem. Her core voters, women voters, I mean, they have been very upset with incidents like Sandesh Kali. Now, coming to Tamil Nadu, you see, the Tamil Nadu, DMK keeps on claiming that it represents Dravida ideology. ADMK also claims Dravida ideology. But what people are saying is these are only labels. In terms of governance, in terms of, good governance, you are not seeing any difference, because corruption has seeped into every aspect of governance. They saw it during ADMK rule, and they are now seeing it DMK rule. And when we talk of Parivarvad or the family rule, it's not just at the top. Down in every district, you find the ruling party functionaries, their family members, they are involved in contracts. Everywhere the same story. Now the question is, what is the alternative that the people have?
Okay.
See, BJP has not been arguing in terms of Hindutva versus Dravida ideology. What it has been saying is to show that the Prime Minister has brought about a different kind of governance at the center, whereas these parties who claim Dravidian ideology and take the name of great leaders like Annadurai, they have not done what they should have done.
Right.
Why are the poor still not getting what is due to them?
Okay.
This has been the thrust of the Annadurai's campaign and PF's campaign.
So this is the breakthrough moment, viewers. This could be the breakthrough moment. Let me bring in another observer before I get the two political voices in. Dr. Ranganathan, the pivot to Ram is civilizational. The pivot to accentuating Tamil non-Dravidian symbolism is civilizational. There are parallels here. Do you think this is the breakout moment for the BJP in Tamil Nadu? And do you believe that the vote share is certainly taking us towards that?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. It's a great day for the entire country. It goes to votes. 3 points here. I think you are broadly right. Number one, yes, the increase in vote share is expected, no doubt about it. And it was, I think, I would say, the long-term vision, as Dr. Raman rightly put it, of the Prime Minister. He is looking ahead 10, 15 years, possibly even more. And then the fruits of this labor is going to come through in the form of maybe forming a state government or having a substantial amount of MPs in the Lok Sabha. Be that as it may, there are a couple of points that must be taken into consideration. BJP is going alone. The reason for that is it sees itself as a David versus Goliath story. And always in a David versus Goliath story, you have nothing to lose when you go alone. In this case, I think it was a tactical move for it not to ally with AIA DMK. And after the passing away of late Ms. Jayalalitha, the substantial vote share of AIA DJP. Point number two, I do agree in a limited way with Smita that while in Bengal, the issue was not ideological, in Tamil Nadu, it is being made into ideological. On the face of it, yes, I think Smita is right. But please remember that while in 2014, the BJP got 2 seats, one of the primary reasons for it to get 18 seats in 2019 was that it itself projected the issue as ideological, because it projected Mamata, rightly so, as a giant appeaser of the minority. And the fact remains that while in Tamil Nadu, the Muslim population is only 6%, traditional community that doesn't vote for the BJP.
Right.
In Bengal, it is 34%. So the BJP made it ideological by projecting Mamata or Didi as someone who is a giant appeaser of the Muslims. Rightly so, I point to that. And therefore, it took a giant chunk of the share that people were actually convinced that, yes, it might be true. In this case, I fail to realize what is the Dravidian ideology. Is it that the Aryan invasion took place? Other than that, is it parochialism, Tamil? All those things that the DMK and AIADMK are proud of right now, the BJP in Tamil Nadu is also proud of. So, there is not so much difference between ideology as well as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned.
Yeah, okay, let me bring in Sanju Verma, both senior spokespeople today, Mr. Dharanidharan and Sanju Verma. Important day, viewers, and you would want the best voices representing their side. So we have a good, hefty panel here. And I don't mean it in any other way. I meant it as intellectual heft. So before people start trolling me, etc., for, what have you today, the woke world, never know what happens. But let me just come out to you, Sanju Verma. How do you see this? This, Dr. Raman says, is much ado about nothing. And I'm sure Mr. Dharanidharan will agree with him. So you begin. Much ado about nothing? Let me put it to you.
Rahul, I'm so tempted to say, ab ki baar 400 par, teesri baar Modi Sarkar. But be that as it may, let me come down straight to some hard facts. I agree partially with Sumansi Raman, who I normally disagree with on most counts. Yes, BJP might win 2 seats, it may win 4 seats, it may win 6 seats, we don't know. But on one thing where there is a broad consensus amongst various political pundits, psephologists and pollsters, what have you, is that the BJP in the south is going north. It has nothing to lose. We are moving north in terms of vote share, and the average that most pollsters have given the BJP is that the BJP is likely to see its vote share in Tamil Nadu at anywhere between 18 to 19%, which is obviously going to be lower than the 26 or 27% that the DMK has been credited with by pollsters, but it is higher than the 14 or 15% that people are willing to give credit to the Congress for. It is also higher than the 15 or 16% that pollsters are willing to give credit for to the AIA DMK. So my first point is BJP will win a higher vote share than the Congress, than the AIA DMK. The second point is there is always a gap between gaining a critical mass in terms of vote share and then having the wherewithal to translate that into winnable seats. Now, whether a 17, 18 or a 19% vote share for BJP translates into 2 seats, 3 seats, 4 seats or 6 seats, I don't know. But I do know one thing, that this is where it starts. You have to first ensure that there is cross-caste consolidation. And that is where BJP steps in.
Okay.
Cross-caste consolidation. And I'll tell you why. I will pick out just one very important seat, Tirunelveli, where the BJP has fielded Nayanar Nagendran. Nayanar Nagendran was somebody who was the electricity minister when J. Jayalalitha was the chief minister. He was with the AIA DMK in the 1980s. He shifted to the BJP only in 2016. And the reason I'm talking about Tirunelveli is because after his candidacy was announced, I remember Nayanar Nagendran telling television channels that I have been only given one mandate by the BJP top brass. They told me, ensure that Tirunelveli in 2024 is BJP's Kanyakumari. Because don't forget that, a decade back, Paul Radhakrishnan had won Kanyakumari, then every pollster said otherwise. And the reason I spoke of cross-caste consolidation is because Tirunelveli is a very interesting constituency. You have scheduled castes, you have scheduled tribes, you have the Thevars, you have the Nadars, you have the Maravars, you have the OBCs, and Nayanar Nagendran comes from the Maravar community. And the second very interesting constituency which I want to point out before I won't be too verbose, is South Chennai, which you've been talking about. In South Chennai also, don't forget that Tamilisai Soundararajan comes from the Nadar community, and it is said that South Chennai has the highest concentration of Nadars and Brahmins. In fact, within South Chennai, Nagar, Velachery and Mylapore are Brahmin dominant. And given DMK's anti-Brahmin take on most issues in the last couple of years, there could be a Brahmin Nadar cross-caste consolidation in South Chennai, which may work for Tamilisai.
Well, we're going into the reeds. We're going into the reeds. Yeah, no, hang on. Just a minute. Let me bring in Mr. Dharanidharan. In sum, the BJP says this is the... Hang on, just a minute. Let me bring in Mr. Dharanidharan. In sum, the BJP says this is the beginning of the sun setting on the DMK. This is what she's trying to suggest, that a beginning has been made. And let me tell you, there are some numbers that are coming up now of turnouts from other states. You're beginning to see numbers being updated. So we'll come back on those numbers. But Mr. Dharanidharan, this is a promising start. Look, our poll suggested that at 17-18%, the BJP might even bag 5 seats. Dr. Raman, of course, that day had a problem with that projection. But would you not say that this is reason to worry, that 2026 will perhaps be a much tougher election, that this would perhaps mean that there is a undercurrent of underconfidence in the DMK? We can't hear you. I think you muted yourself. Could you unmute yourself, sir, please?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Firstly,
Yes.
thank you for having me on the show.
Most welcome.
See, if people want to dream, they can dream. Who am I to stop them from dreaming? Dreams are good, right? But some dreams come true, but this is definitely not coming true. See, this election, this contest is between BJP and ADMK on who's going to get the number 2 and number 3 place. As a DMK spokesperson and worker, I'm very happy because we getting 39 plus 1 in Tamil Nadu plus Pondicherry is a foregone conclusion. That's what the grassroots says. Every poll, including ATV poll, has said that DMK is getting more than 50% vote share, and the difference between DMK and the second largest party is more than 20%. And BJP has, under its alliances, even in 2014 got 18%. BJP itself got nearly 6% in 2014. But then came 2016, BJP's vote share reduced to 2.86%, then again 3.4%. So that doesn't mean that if BJP is going to cross double digit this time, that BJP has gained traction. Even in because BJP has alliances with PMK and several other parties. PMK itself has 6%, and the smaller parties which might get about 2%. Then BJP, even if it gets 4% or 4.5%, it is double digit, right? So and many of the smaller parties in Tamil Nadu are also dying. So that votes might be split between other parties like Nam Tamilar and BJP, which will be also floating. Maybe this time this will come and next time it will shift. But basically, DMK's vote share has only increased, and ADMK, barring 3.3 to 5% reduction, has remained constant. So I do not see BJP growing in Tamil Nadu. Point one, and second point is DMK has grown stronger, and that's I can see. And I have also spoken to a lot of neutral people as well, including journalists. Even in the difficult constituencies, as per the media, they are saying DMK is winning with a huge margin. That includes Coimbatore, South Chennai, and Tirunelveli. So this is an easy election for us. You come and talk to people on the ground. They are all very, very happy with the schemes which Mr. M.K. Stalin announced. In fact, a member in a family in Tamil Nadu gets about 5,200 or 200 rupees a month, right? The grandmother gets 1,200 as pension. The mother gets 1,000 rupees as a monthly payment. The daughter who goes to college gets 1,000 rupees. And if they're all going in a government bus, they can save about 2,000 rupees. Add this all together, 5,200.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
He's helping a middle class and lower middle class family, putting money in hands of the poor. As per Keynesian economics, if you put money in hands of the poor, the impact on the economy is 3 times higher. And again, if you put money in hands of the women, they spend the money on the family. The nutrition of the children gets improved, and the education of the children gets improved, and human resource capital of the Tamil Nadu also gets improved. So there's overall focus on improving lives of people. That's why we also give morning breakfast. Why are we giving morning breakfast? Simply because it's thought about.
So you're saying that your guarantees are being appreciated and rewarded. Okay. Well, viewers, look, at this moment in time, when we're just getting turnout numbers, and over the next 2-3 days, I might be able to sort of even see some of the exit poll numbers. One can't, of course, bring out anything. One can't say anything really more concrete than, well, hope is eternal, and both sides are hopeful that they're going to do well. A quick comment. I saw 2 hands go up. I think Dr. Ranganathan and Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, go first. Quick comment. And then I want to bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Yeah.
You know, Rahul, the kind of overconfidence which the DMK today showcases is exactly what the TMC showcased in 2019.
Okay, well,
and nobody anticipated.
You have also shown overconfidence by saying 400 par, so it's okay.
Let me come in. Rahul, you are not somebody who normally interjects when somebody is talking. I am a bit surprised. Nevertheless, let me just finish what I was saying. The reason why I talk about overconfidence is simply this. that even the most confident pollsters are saying that despite getting a 21% vote share, which is pretty decent in a state like Tamil Nadu, the DMK will not get more than 25 or 26 seats. Point number one. Point number two, taking off from where Dharan spoke of about, इसको 1,000 rupees देते हैं, इसको 2,000 देते हैं महीने का, फलाने को 3,000 देते हैं. This is precisely the reason Tamil Nadu is looking to knock on the doors of the Supreme Court.
Okay,
It's
well,
on the Kerala way.
let's
It's on the verge of
park that
bankruptcy.
aside. Sanju Verma,
It's
one
on the
second.
verge
Let's
of
park that
bankruptcy.
aside right now. Yes, Dharan wants to quickly respond. Look, even if they get 24 seats or 25 seats, they'll be very happy with that. I think they're not contesting any much more than that in any case. But yes, very quickly, Mr. Dharan. Very quickly, and then I want to bring in Dr.
Only contesting 22 seats.
Yeah.
21 plus 1. So if you are winning 25, I think it's 3 seats more. But what I'm saying is DMK plus its alliances will win 40.
Okay. Look. Yeah. Quickly, Dharan. Mr. Dharan, very quickly, please.
No, that's what I'm saying. And again, giving money to poor and middle class does not mean it's freebies. It is targeted intervention. That's what uplifts the society, right? We know trickle-down economics does not work.
Okay,
That's
whatever it is, viewers, the fact that two principal protagonists... Okay, please. We'll have to see now. 4th of June is when we will know what really happened. Dr. Ranganathan, a quick one before I move on to the other very interesting part of this conversation. Yes.
No, I just wanted to say, because the wonderful DMK spokesperson talked about one is free to dream. So I just wanted to say, I too have a dream as a Tamilian. I have a dream where my state will welcome people from the north and not just the south. I have a dream where my state would welcome people who speak Hindi in addition to Tamil. I have a dream where the 4 ministers from the DMK government will be judged not by their share in lottery electoral bonds, but by the content of their character. So I too have a dream.
Okay, Mr. Dharan, it's only fair that you respond very quickly.
By
And
the way,
Dr. Raman is
Tamil Nadu
also raising his hand. Okay.
Yeah, see, by the way, Tamil Nadu receives the highest number of migrants in this country. We receive about 2 million people, or the highest by far the highest in India. And Tamil Nadu is Vandare Vale Vekkum, which means that we embrace people from all over the world. So there is no problem for anyone coming and living in Tamil Nadu, and people live in harmony. It's only the BJP who wants to say Tamil Nadu is anti-other culture. Imposition of a specific language. We are against imposition, not speaking.
Okay, well, you've had the courts, Mr. Dharan, you've had the courts bear down on you. You've had the courts remind you that you need to be more tolerant of other people's beliefs. So you've also had that. And I think that's where Dr. Ranganathan was perhaps coming from. Anyhow, let me quickly bring in Dr. Raman. Dr. Raman, yes, I thought you were pointing me to the exit, but now I realize that you're making a point. So yes, please, what is the point that you want to make?
Yeah, the point that it could be in some ways an exit as well in Tamil Nadu for certain parties. But anyway, let's not get into that. Now, the point really is that Tamil Nadu has one of the largest number of people learning Hindi in the Hindi Prachar Sabha. So don't talk to us about we are opposed to the imposition.
Okay, you don't have to become the...
I disagree with the DMK on
Okay, you don't have to become the one. Okay, now this will be endless. People will keep scoring points against each other, but you don't have to become really the bearer, the palanquin bearer, so to speak, of parochialism. It's okay, Dr. Raman, we all feel, proprietorial about our sides and all that, but let's not try to sort of, over drum up the sub-nationalism, etc., etc. I mean, that also has its place. And of course, viewers, look, I've always started this morning by saying that there are 3 strands to this first phase. One, and we have to look at it like that, and therefore we're going to move to the next aspect of this debate, because the first strand is very simple. It was always about the BJP trying to retain the 40 seats out of 60 that it contested and won. So that is very important. The second was the Tamil Nadu election, which was really this subplot, and that would determine whether there was actual enthusiasm for a Modi expansion into the south, and that would sort of deliver its verdict. I'm sure the BJP is doing its calculations right now to determine whether that has actually taken place. And the third one, viewers, which is very, very important, is whether the BJP could use this phase to actually grow as a party and get closer to that 400 mark from another bunch of seats which no one has talked about. And that's what I want to get to, the second aspect of this debate. Let's look beyond Tamil Nadu at the rest of the regions where the polls took place in phase 1. There are some numbers that have escaped attention, and these could end up playing an even more significant role than even the Tamil Nadu outcome. Here are some hard facts that could have a transformative impact on the end result. That will be counted on June 4th. The NDA is looking to cross 400, and there are seats in the first phase where it could boost its numbers over 2019. I agree with a large number of people who say that the Tamil Nadu contest is not about showing that you can sweep Tamil Nadu. It's not about getting more than, 2 or 3, perhaps 4 seats. It is really about suggesting that the BJP and its ideology is acceptable. But the other areas, viewers, are where the BJP can actually grow. And that means that you will have a reduction in the numbers of the Congress as well as the India Alliance. Will that happen? Is that happened in phase 1? 15 seats, the BJP came close second. 15 of these seats it could win. 36 seats won by non-Congress and non-BJP, non-DMK parties. So that is also a huge area where it could expand. Do the maths, viewers. There's 36, there's 15, and of course, in those 15 are some seats where the Congress won by wafer-thin numbers. Chhindwara, Bastar, Andaman, Shillong. In fact, there are 8 seats where the BJP could easily wrest back the initiative from the Congress and the India bloc. There's Andaman and Nicobar, the Congress at 46.3%, the BJP at 45.6%, breathing down the neck of that particular contestant there. Chhindwara, Congress 47, BJP 44. That could easily swap and change. And Bastar, Chhattisgarh, Congress 44, BJP 39. The BJP is almost 40. BJP swept that state in the assembly elections. Chandrapur, Maharashtra, Congress 45.2, BJP 41. Bijnor, Uttar Pradesh, BSP 51, BJP 44. Remember, that BSP number was when they were in alliance with the Samajwadi Party. That's no longer the case. Rampur, Uttar Pradesh, Samajwadi Party 52%, BJP 42. That was again thanks to that big alliance, transformative alliance. Saharanpur, BSP 41, BJP 39, almost 40%. Muradabad, Uttar Pradesh, Samajwadi Party 50, BJP 43. All this could be changing very quickly, viewers, and therefore the opposition being marginalized even more. Is that likely to happen? Let's open this up, because this is fundamentally about dominance, viewers. Dominance. And on this point, let's go back to our panelists. Let's go back to Shekhar Iyer on this point, Smita Prakash. Smita Prakash, I've been saying in the morning the 3 basic elections to really analyze here. And I shaped them. The reason that we have been so fixated with Tamil Nadu is because it is testifying to the BJP's appeal across board, but fundamentally the growth will come from other areas. And Smita Prakash, does that spell problems for India Alliance and the Congress specifically? I've shown you those numbers.
Is where the India Alliance was strong. So first phase, the BJP starts on a back foot. We've discussed this yesterday also. Now the magnitude of the 400 par, 400 plus that the BJP has portrayed and said that they want is an extremely difficult target. And for them to get that has to come in from the Hindi heartland. And the Hindi heartland is where they had swept the polls last time. So for them to get it convincingly, they will have to look at new areas, whether it is in Telangana, where they have an upper hand right now. Many areas south of the Vindhyas. Now, will they be able to sweep like they did in Karnataka? It's highly unlikely. They'll probably get lesser seats. So where is it going to come from? They are going to hope that they get more in West Bengal, they get more in Odisha, they get more in many other states. So for the BJP to lose this election, they have to lose over 100 seats. For the BJP to get 400 par is an extremely difficult target. But if they do that, it has to come in from some part of Western India and some part of Eastern India. As far as South is concerned, there's not going to be much of movement. That's what I feel at this stage.
Well, there are other numbers coming in. And I have to go back now to Chennai for a few moments. Numbers till 7 p.m. now coming in. Viewers, this is an upgrade and it looks very impressive. Very, very impressive. This is PC-wise. Of course, this is data till 6 p.m. Polling will continue till the last voter actually exits the polling station. So you'll have to wait till 8:39 and perhaps even tomorrow morning for the absolute numbers to come through. But the total for Tamil Nadu right now stands at 72%. And if you look at Coimbatore, if you look at some of the other seats that we've been talking about, Tenkasi, etc., all above 70%. This is a big jump, a big increase, 63 to 72%. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, something is brewing, something is happening. I can already see Dr. Raman now beginning to look at his laptop a little closer. He's getting a little worried there. Okay, he's not. But let me bring it. Doctor. Yes, Dr. Anand, 1 second. Dr. Anand Anand Ranganathan, go ahead. Yes.
With respect to my delightful friend, Dr. Raman, it's not the first time that he's been proven wrong live on air. He said it is unlikely that this year the voter turnout would actually exceed what was the last time, 71%. It's already done so. And still there are a lot of votes to be counted. So I think, again, but I do agree with him. It's very difficult if the percentage is hovering plus minus 2 or 3%, which I think it would. It would possibly go up to 74%. It's very difficult to say, whether this is going to be a tectonic election in the terms that, voters have decided one way or the other. I still would side with Dr. Raman, be cautious about this. But the fact is, we have to decide once and for all, is 2024 an election for consolidation, or for once and for all people deciding that there is no alternative to Modi? And here I come back to the question which, Rahul, if you remember, we had a wonderful debate almost a month ago.
Yeah.
That where was the need for the Indie alliance to be formed in the first place? They felt the need was that they would move this vote cutting business that happens when two parties fight for the same seat and therefore the votes are cut. The downside was that people would see immediately that out of 24, 25 parties, there is absolutely no alternative to Modi. And I'm afraid, on the balance of things, this is what has happened. Instead of the former happening, the latter is what the people are going with. That is the image that is being projected.
And let me add to that, statistically, this is the weakest phase for the BJP viewers, the weakest.
Correct.
And if in the state that they are the weakest, you have this. One second, Dr. Raman. Just let me. Okay, if everyone look, can I even make a small point?
The BJP is very spoken on this show.
Okay.
The BJP is very spoken, Rahul. What's wrong with you?
Okay, I'm not the election commissioner. Stop writing letters to me. 1 second. Give me 30 seconds, please. Give me 30. Okay, Dr. Raman, please. Okay. Yes.
I was accused of having been wrong.
Okay.
I said very clearly that the voting percentage will be almost identical. It is almost identical. In fact, it is a few 0.3 or 0.4 less than last time. Once the final tally comes in, it will be little more, maybe about 0.5, 0.6 more than last time.
That's not the point. The point, viewers.
I'm sorry.
One second.
Sorry. No. I'm amazed.
Okay. Forget all that. Don't get
accused of speaking something wrong.
Okay, don't.
Within 20 minutes. It is crystal clear that I spoke and got it.
Okay, fair enough. Dr. Raman, that point is accepted. Just 1 second, relax. All of you guys, just chill out. 30 seconds, please. Look, let me just update at least the viewers on the numbers. Everyone is showing me the finger today very aggressively. I'm getting a little worried. Okay, now viewers, look. What we have is the weakest phase for the BJP, for the NDA. This is where they haven't won 50% of the seats. And in the weakest state, if the turnout is as much, now remember viewers, when elections are predictable, voters don't really like to show up. Here, it appears to me that the number is going to increase. It will probably go up to 72, 73, even 74%. Now that tells you something, viewers. Something is happening on the ground. Either the DMK is saying, okay, everyone come out to vote to save our bacon, or on the other side, the BJP is actually getting some reception there. And that should be welcomed by all. not because we are lovers of BJP, but because it shows that democracy is alive. People are still enthused enough. And this whole dirge that is sung in every foreign university about Indian democracy wildering at the edges is a lie. Smita Prakash, am I wrong? Is it a lie? What does this tell you?
Look, we were talking about the larger picture.
Yes.
For the BJP to get this turnout, you're putting out there this turnout in the first phase. Now you look at the other phases. This is a weak phase. In the other phases, where the problem occurs for the India alliance is, here the India alliance is strong. You pointed that out. Why? Solely because of the DMK, frankly.
Yeah.
They are the ones who swept the polls, so they bring in a large chunk of numbers into the India alliance. Look at the other side. Now the other phases come in. For over 190 seats, it is Congress and BJP head to head. The India alliance partners do not have faith on the Congress to be able to defeat the BJP in these 190 seats.
Yes.
Why else do you think Mamata Banerjee a few hours ago turned around and told her voters that, hey, listen, there is no India alliance in our state. So if the CPIM is coming to you or if the Congress is coming to you, that is the India alliance. So vote for us. No, don't vote for them. Because voting for them means voting for the BJP.
Yes.
So the alliance partners are worried. In Kerala today, the CPIM is called Rahul Gandhi a clownish person. They laughed when the reporter asked them about Rahul Gandhi's statement, and they laughed and said that who is he to talk about minorities?
Well,
he doesn't even
something
allow
is happening.
the green
Look at
flags,
this.
the Islamic
Chennai
flags
North,
in his rally.
5%
So he's a
more
clown,
than
they
last
said.
time. The number 5%. It's leaping off the charts now. Yes, Sanju Verma, 30 seconds, 1 minute, please. I need to wrap up. Yes.
Rahul,
Yeah.
I just want to say this.
Yeah.
You keep talking about, the DMK being in pole position in the south. I just have to say this. Let your audience know that when there was Cyclone Michong in 2023, MK Stalin literally abandoned the citizens of Tamil Nadu. It was the NDRF, the NDMA, which is chaired by the Prime Minister, who stepped in. And I think people don't have a convenient memory. The electorate is going to punish the DMK for its incompetence. But I will just add one more point because, you have hardly given me time. Please understand that in Telangana, the BJP last time had less than a 20% vote share, but we got 4 Lok Sabha seats. The Congress had a 30% vote share and still got 3 seats. I come back to my point that the BJP's ability to translate vote share into
people are coming out
is phenomenal.
Mr. Dharanidharan, people are coming out. She says you think you're on the pole position. Is it a slippery pole? That's the question now. People are coming out. Are you on a slippery pole? Again, you're on mute.
Sorry, yeah. See, I have the data.
Don't lose your voice. Okay, we are very
I
over.
have the data. I just now got the information.
Yeah.
That the share of women voting in this election has drastically increased. And that is
vote share of women is increased. Look,
yeah, that's because of women friendly. And second most important point.
Okay, you know where the women have voted in the last election in 2019 and in 2014, they've overwhelmingly voted for the BJP. Well, viewers, something is happening on the ground. I'm going to take a very short break. Anand Narasimhan will join us next. This is an ongoing story and it's getting bigger by the moment. Don't go away.
लाखों की संख्या
Ready? I will talk to English separately, sir. Now Tamil.
சந்திரனா உங்களுக்கு என்னன்னா கீழ இருக்கணும் சந்திரனா கரெக்டா இப்படி வைங்க கீழ வைங்க கீழ வைங்க அதான்
அன்பார்ந்த பத்திரிகை நண்பர்களுக்கு பத்திரிகை நண்பர்களுக்கு எங்களுடைய காலை வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றோம். இந்த அற்புதமான நன்னாளில், தேர்தல் திருவிழா நாளில் நாம் அனைவரும் கூட நம்முடைய ஜனநாயக கடமையை ஆட்ட வேண்டும். காரணம், ஜனநாயகத்தினுடைய வலிமை என்பது வாக்காளர் பெருமக்கள் மட்டும்தான்.
Exercise our democratic
வாக்காளர்
duty.
பெருமகன் முடிவு செய்கின்றார்கள்.
The voter ultimately decides who will rule on him or her. Good people have to come forward.
எப்பொழுதும் ஒரு தொப்புள் கொடி உறவு இருக்க வேண்டும். அதனால் சிந்தித்து எல்லோரும் வாக்களிப்போம். நான் என்னுடைய ஜனநாயக கடமையை ஆட்டியிருக்கின்றேன்.
I have just exercised my democratic right.
பூத் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஊத்துப்பட்டியில
This is where my booth is, Uthupatti in Karur. I am asking all people across the state of Tamil Nadu to come early in the morning and cast your franchise. And the goal should be to bring
an unprecedented and historic election. A vote that decides Bharat's quest for greatness.
A mandate that paves the way for 1 billion aspirations.
A verdict the world is watching closely.
A battle for a rising Bharat's glorious future. Battle for Bharat. Elections equals CNN News 18.
Ready?
I will talk to English separately, sir. Now Tamil.
சந்திரனா உங்களுக்கு என்னன்னா கீழே இருக்கணும். சந்திரனா கரெக்டா இப்படி வைங்க, கீழே வைங்க, கீழே வைங்க.
அன்பார்ந்த பத்திரிகை நண்பர்களுக்கு பத்திரிகை நண்பர்களுக்கு எங்களுடைய காலை வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றோம். இந்த அற்புதமான நன்னாளில், தேர்தல் திருவிழா நாளில் நாம் அனைவரும் கூட நம்முடைய ஜனநாயக கடமையை ஆட்ட வேண்டும். காரணம், ஜனநாயகத்தினுடைய வலிமை என்பது வாக்காளர் பெருமக்கள் மட்டும்தான்.
Exercise our democratic
வாக்காளர்
duty.
பெருமகன் முடிவு செய்கின்றார்கள்.
The voter ultimately decides who will rule on him or her. Good people have to come forward.
எப்பொழுதும் ஒரு தொப்புள் கொடி உறவு இருக்க வேண்டும். அதனால் சிந்தித்து எல்லோரும் வாக்களிப்போம். நான் என்னுடைய ஜனநாயக கடமையை ஆட்டியிருக்கின்றேன்.
I have just exercised my democratic right.
பூத் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஊத்துப்பட்டியில
This is where my booth is, Uthupatti in Karur. I am asking all people across the state of Tamil Nadu to come early in the morning and cast your franchise. And the goal should be to bring
An unprecedented and historic election. A vote that decides Bharat's quest for greatness.
A mandate that paves the way for 1 billion aspirations.
A verdict the world is watching closely.
A battle for a rising Bharat's glorious future. Battle for Bharat. Elections equals CNN News 18.
Ready?
I will talk to English separately, sir. Now Tamil.
சந்திரனா உங்களை போட்டு என்னன்னா கீழே இருக்கணும் சந்திரனா கரெக்டா இப்படி வைங்க கீழே வைங்க கீழே வைங்க அதான்
அன்பார்ந்த பத்திரிகை நண்பர்களுக்கு பத்திரிகை நண்பர்களுக்கு எங்களுடைய காலை வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றோம். இந்த அற்புதமான நன்னாளில் தேர்தல் திருவிழா நாளில் நாம் அனைவரும் கூட நம்முடைய ஜனநாயக கடமையை ஆட்ட வேண்டும். காரணம், ஜனநாயகத்தினுடைய வலிமை என்பது வாக்காளர் பெருமக்கள் மட்டும்தான்.
Exercise our democratic
வாக்காளர்
duty.
பெருமகன் முடிவு செய்கின்றார்கள்.
The voter ultimately decides who will rule on him or her. Good people have to come forward.
எப்பொழுதும் ஒரு தொப்புள் கொடி உறவு இருக்க வேண்டும். அதனால் சிந்தித்து எல்லோரும் வாக்களிப்போம். நான் என்னுடைய ஜனநாயக கடமையை ஆட்டியிருக்கின்றேன்.
I have just exercised my democratic right.
பூத் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஊத்துப்பட்டியில
This is where my booth is, Uthupatti in Karur.
அதே போல தமிழகம் முழுவதும் எல்லா அன்பு சொந்தங்களுக்கும் கூட
I am
வேண்டுகோள்.
asked.
An unprecedented and historic election. A vote that decides Bharat's quest for greatness.
A mandate that paves the way for 1 billion aspirations.
A verdict the world is watching closely.
A battle for a rising Bharat's glorious future. Battle for Bharat. Elections equals CNN News 18. Co-powered by
Ready?
I will talk to English separately, sir. Now Tamil.
கீழே வைங்க டவுன் பண்ணுங்க கீழே வைங்க என்னமா பிடிக்கலாம் கீழே வைங்க கீழே வைங்க கீழே வைங்க கீழே வைங்க கீழே வைங்க மூஞ்சியா கீழே வைங்க சந்திரனே சந்திரனா உங்களை போட்டு என்னன்னா கீழே இருக்கணும் சந்திரனா கரெக்டா இப்படி வைங்க கீழே வைங்க கீழே வைங்க அதான்
அன்பார்ந்த பத்திரிகை நண்பர்களுக்கு பத்திரிகை நண்பர்களுக்கு எங்களுடைய காலை வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றோம். இந்த அற்புதமான நன்னாளில் தேர்தல் திருவிழா நாளில் நாம் அனைவரும் கூட நம்முடைய ஜனநாயக கடமையை ஆட்ட வேண்டும். காரணம், ஜனநாயகத்தினுடைய வலிமை என்பது வாக்காளர் பெருமக்கள் மட்டும்தான்.
Exercise our democratic
வாக்காளர்
duty.
பெருமகன் முடிவு செய்கின்றார்கள்.
The voter ultimately decides who will rule on
அதே நேரத்தில்
him or her. Good people have to come forward.
எப்பொழுதும் ஒரு தொப்புள் கொடி உறவு இருக்க வேண்டும். அதனால் சிந்தித்து எல்லோரும் வாக்களிப்போம். நான் என்னுடைய ஜனநாயக கடமையை ஆட்டியிருக்கின்றேன்.
I have just exercised my democratic right.
பூத் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஊத்துப்பட்டியில
This is where my booth is.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. Ladies and gentlemen, phase 1 of Lok Sabha 2024, 102 seats at stake here. 16.6 crore voters had the chance to take the right stand. The right stand in the interest of Bharat. The right stand is to go and cast their ballot, their mandate. Have they done so overwhelmingly? The reports indicate across the country that there has been a significant voter turnout into the 70s in many of the states and many of the seats, which is highly encouraging, especially in places like the Northeast and, surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen, Tamil Nadu, and we'll talk about it. But let's try and understand why this is significant. 16.6 crore voters casting their ballot on the first phase of Lok Sabha 2024. This battle for Bharat gets underway. A total of 97 crore voters who will cast their ballot across the 7 phases. 1/6 of those voters were going into the first phase, which has a maximum number of seats. And this is where the BJP is not defending more, it's actually got to make more ingress. 16.6 crore had the chance to go vote, ladies and gentlemen. Go vote is also a campaign here at CNN News 18 urging